Hi, you're on the Alice Reddit Stories channel. Subscribe to my channel as well as to my Facebook, the link is in the description. Enjoy watching. My husband, Vincent, 27M, and I, 25F, are both from very religious families. We met in high school, and even though we were at no point really madly in love with each other, I think he wasn't either. Anyways, we just slid into a comfortable relationship. We both took the path of lowest resistance, I guess, and there was never a reason for either of us to break up, and our families were expecting it, so there was no reason not to get married in 2018. For about 2 years now he's had a job that has him spend long periods of time abroad. That's okay, both of us embraced having a little more space. Last summer, Katie moved in next door. She's a year younger than me and moved here for university. I'm still studying and also working part-time, so my social life wasn't very active. We both make music, so she came over and I'd accompany her, and eventually she introduced me to mutual friends as well, and we'd sometimes go out for coffee, etc. after uni. It was nice just having a social life again, and she's genuinely a marvelous person to spend time around, interesting, creative, and her singing sounds insane. Around 3 weeks ago, she told me she'd apparently broken her lease and our landlord was kicking her out. She was asking if I'd heard of someone looking for a short-term roommate, but seeing as Vincent wasn't there, I naturally offered her to stay until she found a new flat. They've met a bunch of times. I was going to tell him about it too, but we haven't really had too close contact recently. It's been awesome having her here. We like similar films and books, so almost every night is a comfy stay-at-home cinema night together, and sometimes she'll sing and let me play, and it's great. The thing is, maybe I should have realized sooner it was going to be a mess, because it made me a little guilty realizing our home felt more like home than when Vincent was here. Now today, Vincent texts me real serious. That he knows he's been distant, but he expected better of me than this level of dishonesty, and he'd have to tell our families, etc. So I call him, and it turns out a friend of Katie's apparently sent him a screenshot of a text convo they had in which she talks about staying here and admits she might sort of like me. Like me. She does say that she knows I'm married, and honestly I'm 100% certain she would have never tried anything. But this emotionally blindsided me. I didn't know she wasn't straight, and even if I had, I would have never thought she'd genuinely like someone like me. And now I can't stop thinking, if I look at these past few months thinking about it like that, and when I compare it to how I felt with Vincent, even when we had sex, I never felt quite as much as I do just spending time with her. I just thought that was the normal difference between platonic and romantic relationships, and I'm not someone very interested in sex. I didn't consider this at all. I'm so sorry, and I never meant for any of this to happen, like we haven't done anything obviously, but I see how Vincent would feel cheated on. But on the other hand, I can't just kick her out. Honestly, I don't want to kick her out. I have a little bit saved up from my job, so maybe I could get us our own apartment for the time being. Well, if she would even want that, I still haven't talked to her. Maybe the screenshot was faked or something, and she's just a friend. Though I'm not sure that would calm Vincent down at this point, especially since I can't go back to not thinking about it. But then I don't want to hurt him any more than I apparently already have, and having this talk with my family would be a nightmare. I need to get this off my chest, and as I have nobody to discuss it in the real world, here I am, Reddit. I'm from Poland. Changing one's gender is not so common here, and definitely not encouraged. Thing is, I am in constant disagreement with my femininity. I would like to cut off these parts of my body that suggest I'm female, you get the gist. It all started when I was 13/14, got worse over years. Now it's terrible. Recently, around the time of defending my bachelor's thesis, I felt invincible and decided to cut my hair short. I've never felt that euphoric before. Now why it is such a big deal? My mother has never liked the way I looked. Don't forget to support my channel by subscribing, thank you. She wanted me to have long hair, wear makeup, do my nails, wear cute dresses, and stuff like that. When she had time, she picked outfits for me and asked me to wear them. But obviously, she couldn't do that all the time, so I had to try on my own to live up to her expectations. Thing is, whenever I tried to do so, I miserably failed. I remember people of my age laughing at me. Be it primary school, gymnasium or high school, all the girls around me were so effortless in being feminine. They didn't have to be ordered how to look, they just felt what was the right thing for them to wear. I always felt I lacked this intuition. My mother's expectations were definitely not excessive, don't get me wrong. I know it was appropriate to expect her daughter to look in a certain way, and not like, me. It ended up badly. I think I broke down eventually when I was told that I looked like a transvestite. Soon after I realized I just felt comfortable with looking like a boy. My looks were rarely questioned when I dressed up in my older brother's clothes. I was just told that I dress in a sporty style. I never opposed my mother's expectations in an obviously noticeable way. I still let her dress me up, I just stopped trying to wear such stereotypically feminine things on a daily basis, and luckily she was too busy to figure it out. Cutting my hair short was the first thing ever so visible to make her disgusted with me. Now she hates the way I look and told me I don't even resemble her child. I still live with her. Living with parents for so long is not so uncommon in Poland, studying for a master's degree and getting a real job in my profession in next couple of months, fairly certain. I'm doing everything to assure her that I'm not such an awful disappointment as I may look. If I could just grow my hair long again, and finally start looking the way that would be, less disappointing, it would be easier, but I cannot help but feel absolutely king ecstatic. I've started to bind my chest with whatever comes in my hand. People started to mistake me for a man, for real, even children have called me a boy. It is probably because I dress in clothes designed for men and wear absolutely no makeup. I even use antiperspirant for men from time to time. I'm an idiot, I know. And here comes another person I love and care about, my boyfriend of approximately 5 years. The love of my life. He always had a way of making me confess things, so I admitted how uneasy I felt about being a woman, and I felt like this for years. Now it just kind of exploded in my face. That hurt because I know he is into guys too, but after transition, he would see me as a mutilated female, not a male. He made it pretty clear. Now what? I'm afraid that if I don't find a way to erase my unsuitable feelings immediately, I will eventually find a way to flatten my chest for good by a surgery. Then my mother will disown me and my boyfriend will leave. How to stop feeling this way? It really is shitty to feel so happy about something you just aren't supposed to do. So we had been dating for 18 months or so, and yeah, we had our ups and downs. Usually from her starting fights or just getting very easily frustrated at the slightest of things. First year for me was a little tricky as I wasn't actually sure whether I could live with that in my life. I spoke to her about it and said I didn't want to fall into an abusive relationship where I just got put down. She got the point and stopped. Anyhow, things got much better after then. Could say we were both in love. However, things took a turn around 6 weeks ago. I went around on the weekend and out of the blue, she said she wanted to have a chat. She said that she feels like she needs some space and a break from things. I was shocked, as we had a lovely evening the night before and it was out of nowhere. I picked up my stuff and said, okay. Well, I'm going to go now then. She tried stopping me walking out the door and burst into tears. Don't forget to support my channel by subscribing, thank you. I said listen, I need to get some space and some air, and went out the front door. She followed me out the house coming after me. I stopped and we had a long talk whilst smoking a zoot at the park. She said that she thinks she just made the worst mistake of her life and wants me to forget it ever happened. I just wanted to calm her down, etc., so I was just super supportive and trying not to get emotional about it all. A week went by, and I went over to hers the following weekend. My gut was telling me something was totally off that week. I could feel that she wanted to try breaking things off again. I went around and she had basically said that I need to focus on getting my life together before I focus on this relationship. She wanted space from me. We spoke to each other and tried to mutually break off this relationship because it was hurting. Jesus, we both cried to each other that day, jokingly saying we'd probably be laughing about this in 2 weeks' time. We had split up, kinda right match at the wrong time. She exchanged a few photos with me for keepsakes, sprayed her bed sheets with my aftershave, kept a few of my hoodies. Told me that she didn't know how she felt if I was to talk to other girls, and said if I did I could tell her. We had a really lovely evening. I even slept with her that same night of the breakup and stayed over. I left the following morning and tried to go no contact for a week or so. After a few days, we messaged a little, and it all just started to play on me. I want some reassurance that I'm not waiting around for nothing, or even some closure to help me just get over it, but I was losing sleep and just broken. I took the time to write a song about our relationship. Was a pretty vibing song, was impressed with my newfound drive to try something different. I let her know I wrote a song and she wanted to hear it. She was amazed and really shocked I was able to write that for us. I asked her if she wanted to have a quick FaceTime catch-up or something, and she said, sorry, but she needs space and talking was just hurting the both of us. She said some really reassuring things to me about working on myself, and I agreed, and we decided to go no contact. 2 weeks later, she messaged me telling me she had gone to a show and met her favorite singer and got his signature and photos. I replied back saying I was happy for her and glad to see she's doing what she wants to do. She said she was really upset because none of her friends gave a shit that she just met her favorite singer, etc., etc. She thanked me for caring and asked how I was doing. I said things were okay, keeping myself busy and beginning to learn how to drive. She said she was happy I'm focusing on myself now. She said she can't wait for me to pick her up when I start driving too, and then asked if I was free on the weekend to meet up for a coffee. I said sure, would like to catch up. I cut the convo off short because I didn't want to fall back into just talking and getting myself hurt. I'm really confused in this whole situation because I really love this girl. But I also feel like I'm being put down and picked back up. Just have a weird gut feeling about this all. We haven't spoke since, been busy at work, etc. I know it's an essay, but if you have any insights to as what you think is happening, I'd love to know. Anyone been in this position before? Don't forget to support my channel by subscribing, thank you. Story 1. My 32M wife, 28F, has some weird texting with her cousin's friend, 20M, and 4 marriage counselors and 3 friends of me saying that I'm right to be suspicious. Update. So, to continue the story, she was at her mother's and I was home. But I had an urgent project to do at the office, so I made an ultimatum saying, come to the house and let's talk. I'll be at the office for 3 days, if you don't come we won't talk at all. She came, but generally she told me the same stuff like, he's too young, I didn't even consider you would think this way, etc. I also asked her what if the roles were reversed and she saw me talking to a young girl like that. She told me it's okay if she's like a sister to you, and you're close, then that's normal. And I also mentioned the lipstick issue where she sulked about for 5 months, and she told me, I believed you back then when you said it was a good heart gesture, why don't you believe me now? If you don't trust me, 8 years of relationship was for nothing. And of course none of these statements were fitting my logic. But there were 2 very sexual sentences in there. When I mentioned those she was like, yeah, that's inappropriate, I don't know why I said those stuff, with a kind of a shocked face. At the end of the conversation, I said I have to go to the office, but before I go, I had to do a test. I told her I forgot something in the conversation and I wanted to look at her phone. She said okay, went to the other room, told me the phone has no battery left, took her phone to the toilet with her, came out and put her phone on charge. She was very careful and she was protecting her phone from my gaze and showed me only the sentence I asked about and pulled back the phone. She also has a password for the screen lock now, which she normally doesn't have. When I'm at the office, she sent me 2 screenshots explaining the 2 very sexual sentences, telling me all kinds of explanations like it was an inside joke, he told me that, I told him this, etc. But the thing here is that I realized she deleted some sentences even when explaining things to me. One of them was, don't call me sister, in any case, haha JK, and I calmly returned home. She has already put on her outside clothing. I thanked for the screenshots and explanations, but she immediately reacted I didn't send those pictures to further discuss this issue, I don't want to talk anymore on this, but I remained calm and said, I remember this conversation was a little bit different. She told me, yeah. I traveled back in time and made the conversation again. I asked, did you delete anything when you're sending me these screenshots? She said, are you joking? Of course not. Pfft. And I told her she deleted a sentence and a voice message. She first told me, yeah, I deleted them because I was afraid you were gonna get angry. Then she got up and told me we are divorcing anyways and left the house. This was the 4th time she was using the word divorce in a 2-year marriage. I called my parents, told them everything. They were shocked too, of course, and they were there for me, %100, and of course they shunned the conversations between my wife and Jake. I called her mother and told her everything too, and she was shocked too. But 2 days later, her mother called me again and told me, I want to have a conversation with you and my daughter. Right now, I don't even know what she wanted to talk about anymore. So they came. At first their explanations were the same, and I asked, what about the phone hiding and the password, leaving me telling me we are gonna divorce, lying to my face? How can I trust you after all these? After that, her mother took control of the conversation and told me these, you nitpicked the conversation. When you look at the whole context, you don't get any idea of flirting. You are like a bad journalist, picking only the bad stuff in the whole conversation. I know my daughter, and I'm sure she can't do something like that, but she's an idiot. She doesn't know how to talk to people, and she couldn't discern between talking to a girl and a boy. She also attacked me saying, you're a bad husband also, you don't set boundaries about how she should talk with other people and how free she can be. You were letting her see her male friends. I was like, WTF at this moment, smiley face. Then she asked me, if you trust her I'll leave her here, if you don't I'll take my daughter with me. I told them I don't. Lastly she, the mother, told me to call my parents and tell them I was wrong. I nitpicked. Don't forget to support my channel by subscribing, thank you. Like, what nonsense is this? That doesn't even work like that, and they left the house in a hurry as they hear my father's response. 2 days later her mother only came, gave me the ring and the key to the apartment. Asked me, I learned you got cheated on your last relationship too. Did you also got suspicious for no reason on that too? And my friend was with me told her, no, he got the proof, and she confessed. Then she said, there were never a disgrace like that on our Virtus family for generations. I leave you to your conscience. We don't want anything. We are awaiting your uncontested divorce papers. Later I found a lawyer. He also told me, I'm %100 on the right here. Even more so legal-wise. She called twice, first to tell me she changed her mind and want contested divorce, telling me you smeared me and you have to prove it. The second time asking about the divorce, I told her to talk to my lawyer. She called my lawyer asking, what evidence will you submit to the court? And my lawyer told her, why would I give that information to you? For 2 to 3 weeks I was really bad, like don't want to do anything, but I'm okay-ish now. Last week I was 100 meters away from the bombing in Istanbul, and I got away with a last-second choice, thinking I don't want to walk that way with my broken foot, and 30 seconds later I saw the bomb go off. That also affected my psychology a lot. Also, I got COVID yesterday. So life's hitting me left and right, but I'm staying strong, even laughing at the series of unfortunate events, smiley face. TLDR, for the second part of the story things got even weirder and messy. She made mistake after mistake, and both her and her mother gave me ridiculous explanations that nobody could believe. And I didn't trust her. She sent me the ring and the key telling me she wanted uncontested divorce and doesn't want anything. But later she changed her mind telling me you smeared my name, then asked my lawyer, what evidence will you submit, trying to learn stuff. Toxic sister thinks I cheated when I didn't, feel like we're going to end contact over misinformation, but might be worthy ending contact anyway? I got into an argument with my sister and she yelled, that's why you cheated on your first ex. To clear things up, I told her when me and my first ex broke up we didn't talk for 3 months. During that time I met a girl, but didn't even have a kiss, sex, or even one meet-up. I tried showing her proof, but she is set on the mindset I cheated, thinking I broke up to be with the girl and that I didn't stuff. I discussed this with my mom and she said she doesn't know what she's saying, just let it go. My sister is very toxic and I have a total of 7 siblings, dad remarried a lot. No one, besides one half sibling, is good with my sister. My sister is my only sibling from my mom. Me and my other siblings don't talk as much either. I do live with my sister in my parents' second house and do plan on moving out. I recently broke up with my last ex, and while trying to work things out, I found out she emotionally cheated on me. I was heartbroken and had a rebound over multiple times to cope. Months later, me and my ex tried working things out, but we both couldn't get over what we did to each other and ended contact. When going through old text on my mom's phone, she would text my mom about everything, saying when my rebound was here, text her when my other friends are here, as if I was hoeing around with multiple people. I'm very close to a lot of platonic girlfriends growing up, many of which my mom knows, which helped my case when I'd send pictures of who's over. Some of them would even be guy friends, but because they stayed the night in my room, she'd assume it was a girl over and text my mom. Even when trying to work things out with my ex she hated, she'd be disrespectful and text my mom, "Oh, his little girlfriend just came back, I wonder which flavor he wants this week," and stuff like that. I also saw messages where my sister was telling my mom she can't wait for me to move out, how much she hates me and wants me out of her life once I move out. I was shocked, as when my parents took away her car, I found a cheap beater and offered to pay even 3 months of insurance, registration, and tag for her to get her off her feet, and saw messages where she lied, saying a friend was buying the car instead. She would constantly snitch and text my mom when I would go out, had sex with my ex, didn't hear me, and the rebound, so only suspicions, when I come home, leave, smoke, drink, throw parties, etc. At this point I feel stalked/watched, and as if I got no privacy. Before I leave, I wanted to talk and make amends, but we haven't said a single word in close to 6 months. I thought she'd care more knowing I'm moving out in several months, but she's actually happy I'll be gone instead. She even made plans to get roommates to take my place. My father is very heartbroken also, as she ended contact with him months prior when she was caught doing some disrespectful things as well. She was clearly in the wrong but got mad. My dad took her car he paid for and sold it as a lesson, and plans to keep it that way till he dies, her exact words. Since that event 2 years ago, she doesn't show up to any holidays, birthdays, family outings when they visit, not even a single house visit since then. My dad cries daily in private, and when my mom would tell my sister, she'd text saying he's not good for my mental health and aura. My chakra is unbalanced due to his energy. My sister is weirdly into all that stuff. I personally feel like she's manipulating my dad by not talking to him unless he gets her another car. I know it's toxic and I need to leave this environment, but I feel like once I leave, my sister will have this mentality that I left to hoe around, be a cheater, and etc. Not for me wanting privacy, stay near school, to focus on my bachelor's, or etc. I know I should just say F it, she's doing her, and I'm doing me. Even if she doesn't believe me, who cares, but family views really mattered to me, just not sure if hers really does matter to me anymore. I just wanted to at least have some contact due to being family. If this was just a friend, I would have blocked and stopped talking for a minute. My mom talked to her and my sister said her mind is set, and even if she does or doesn't see what I did as cheating, she's mad about what I did to both my exes. I never wanted to end contact with her, but feel like after discussing with friends and my therapist that this is how life is going to be forever, or at least years. I was noted for caring too much about what people. Don't forget to support my channel by subscribing. Thank you.